Poppin' guys, R&B Politics here, and today I'm going to be talking about, once again, another story in the one channel that addresses all sides of the issues. And this issue is something that's been going around for quite a while now, especially in the year of 2018, and it's been really split down the middle 50-50, and this is something that I've kind of been avoiding for my channel. I've been thinking, I don't really want to go across this, but I've come to the decision in which all arguments and everything need to be touched in the end, and why not just do it? What I'm going to be arguing is the fact is whether or not it's okay to be transgender in the United States of America. And the way that I personally feel about this is I feel somebody should be able to identify as whatever they feel that they are, And what I say by that is I feel if you are a person in a situation in which you're not comfortable in the skin that you're in and you feel that you identify or you act more like a woman, I feel that you should have the right to be called whatever you want, be addressed by her, ma'am, anything as such, and that's okay. But we also need to make sure we have the common courtesy where sometimes people don't know, and we do live in a society where people assume gender, and that's only natural. So don't flip out on somebody if they say yes sir to you, it's one of those things. And one of the biggest arguments against being transgender is people are very against you being able to be put on your license and you be able to basically change who you are. And the way I look at it is you never really change who you are. You're who you are from the beginning and you just develop on. And as you're developing, you realize, hey, I'm a little different than I thought I was, and I hope you guys can accept that I am who I am. And who are you to tell somebody that they can't be who they want to be? And another huge argument that's against why they should be able to be transgender and things as such is whether that creepers would be able to go into bathrooms in which of the opposite gender and be able to peep on somebody. And this is a big issue which I was currently a huge believer in. Which I was in past time, I apologize, a huge believer in. And I always used to say, well, what if they went into the bathroom and they peeped on them? And I thought about it, and I put a lot of time and thinking into it. And believe it or not, if you don't know it now, most states do not have any laws or restrictions against going into a bathroom of the opposite gender. The only thing is some places of company and workplaces, they can put in assigned genders towards each bathroom, and they can ask you they can politely ask you, hey, you need to leave our premises, or they can ban you from the private area. And that's all up to a company's perspective and a company's point of view. And I can understand, most men can easily overpower most women, and I can understand why this is a huge concern in the eyes of the people. And most look at it as to the point in which only 0.06 of the population in America represent themselves as transgender, and so why would we compromise almost around 95% of women feeling uncomfortable in the bathroom? And I 100% respect these opinions, and I understand these opinions. But then again, it all comes around to who are you to tell somebody who they can and who they can't be. Sometimes, what if they don't feel comfortable going into the bathroom in which their original assigned biology, their sex was? And basically, the way I look at it is most say, well, this will make men more prone to be able to overpower a woman, maybe even rape her and peep on her or record a woman in the bathroom. And I thought, man, that's just awful. And I stressed that idea so much that I, in fact, blinded myself that was 100% what was going to happen, and that's how society was. And then I realized, if people are going to break the law, they're going to break the law. And they'll be tried the very same way any other person would be tried. For example, if a woman were to expose herself to another woman indecently or to record another woman, she would be charged with public indecency and maybe even face federal charges in prison. And then I thought about it. She'd be tried the very same way that a transgender person would be, or somebody claiming to be transgendered was. So why do we need to put a law on this, on something that's already illegal to do, and to keep people from just being who they want to be? Now, I know that sounds kind of confusing, and I wish I could sum my words a little bit better, but here's an overall summary. Why should we compromise people feeling comfortable with themselves and things like that for a law that's already in place that says, hey, this is wrong and you shouldn't be able to do that? And then again, on the other side, I as well respect the opinion in which 95% or more of women have said, you know, I don't really feel comfortable if there's a man in my bathroom, and I 100% understand that. And there's many men who feel the same way, and they think, a man does not belong in a woman's bathroom, but this person doesn't identify as a man. And even if they do, let's say that they're a transgender, they're a fake transgender person and they claim to be, and they go into the women's restroom, I understand that they could easily overpower women and that they'd have the ability to even rape them. But that's whenever this thought comes into mind. If they're put into a position, and that woman is put in a position in which she can get raped in a bathroom without anybody knowing, that means that nobody would have to be there for that to occur. So, even if the bathrooms aren't private, who's to stop that criminal from anyhow going into this bathroom and still raping the woman? Especially if nobody's around to originally see and report the crime, in which we said, hey, that's not okay, and try to set laws against people being able to go into bathrooms of their original biological sex. Now, I know everybody needs to feel comfortable with the place that they're in, and I also ask the transgender community to be aware that some people might feel uncomfortable to the point in which, you know, that a man or an original biological their sex was originally a male, is going into their bathroom. You need to 100% respect that, and you also need to respect the fact in which, you know, it's not everybody knows what you identify yourself as, and we live in a society where a lot of people assume, and that's okay, that's not a big deal. We can move on, and we need to start with little baby steps. People get mad at people because they say, oh, did you assume my gender? Did you assume who I was? And they get all offended, and then they yell, and then they just ruin the cause. And that's not what people want to be, because whenever you yell at people for things like that, you separate us even more, even further, thinking that we all have to be extremists on every single point inside. And that's not the way things have to be. America is the land of the free, a place where we can be brought together as people and have one opinion, you know? And that's what I really love about our country. And it's just the fact in which you need to be respectful that if somebody calls you sir and you identify as a woman, don't freak out on them. Say, oh, you know, in fact, if it's like a person at a gas station and they say, alright, thank you, have a good day, sir, don't even say anything. It's not a big deal, okay? Like, but if it's like, for example, a waiter or something like that, just say, oh, I identify as a woman, and, you know, they'll be on their merry little way and they'll be like, alright, here's your food, ma'am, and then the problem will be resolved, okay? So not every person's conversation before they start talking to you is, what's your chosen specific gender? I don't want to offend anybody, because there's no reason to get offended over something that's simple and silly, you know? So America, as I leave today, I want you to know, make sure you look on everybody's side of the opinion. Please let me know how you feel about this. I'd love to hear any statistics, any comments that people would want to share. So make sure you leave them in the comments below, guys. And R&B Politics is out. Just remember, respect everybody's opinion.